In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams in YouTube's Live Control Room. We've built a brand new stream workflow in Live Control
Here we are. Good morning, everyone. Let's see if we can do this live stream from home. Let me check if everything works. Okay. Okay, let me check if everything goes. Right now, I'm not able to see the chat for a second. Give me 3 seconds so that I link here. Okay. Perfect. Finally, I can see everything. Just need to place here the phone somewhere. Finally. Bye, everyone. If you see me sometimes disappearing, I'm so sorry. Then I will change. I have to change a little bit the effect here. It's okay. You should simply tell me if you can hear me correctly, because I couldn't find a better microphone than this one that I have in my headphone. Let me know. Maybe I will put the phone here. Awesome. Does it? Great. Perfect. So, first of all, first thing that we have to do is I need to give you a link to a folder where you can upload your homeworks. So I have to create it with you right now. You just need to give me a second so that I will go to my of course you can see the password, so I'm not worried. Okay. So I'm making a new folder so that I will call it Revit Friday Class 11 to 1 homeworks. And then I will share the link so that you can use this to upload your homeworks in a second. That is share. That is here. That is here. Okay. So, if I go into the chat, I go to my video. There is this one. There is, boom. This is my chat. Perfect. So, if you look now, you will find a link in here. Oops, made a mistake. wrong chat. I'm in room F. So room F. Here. There's me. A little bit noisy. It's okay. Perfect. So then I will fix next time this kind of noisy effect here that I don't like, but it's okay. So now what you have to do is you need to follow that link, and by following that link, you will open a Google Drive folder, and you need to check if you can upload files in that folder. You should be able to do it. I've tried with other classes, but just let me know if for whatever reason it doesn't work or stuff like this. Okay? Then just put a comment down there into the chat. So let me see this, and then we will start today's lesson. Okay, just let me know if you are able to upload things into the folder. I'm checking the video with my phone. Give me feedback. Let me know that you are alive, that you are there. Great. I'm so happy. Yes, yes, with the headphones and the green screen trick, I look like a gamer. I know, I know. Next time, instead of doing Revit, we will do like a Fortnite live stream. Anyway, let's start doing something a little bit more serious. That is this. Today, first of all, I need to show you a few important aspects of Revit that allow you to customize Revit. And this is important because even if it is we have started installing Revit in January, I can from your messages, from your issues, I can still see that some of you may have problems with libraries and then templates and stuff like this. So first thing first, I want to show you a few important ways and parameters that you need to know in being able to customize Revit for your in order to work better actually. And in order to be able to do this, we have to go to File, we have to go to Options, and we need to see a couple of things in here. First thing first is when we are in General here, what we need to see. Have you ever noticed that when you work in Revit that each 30 minutes, when you are working in the middle of your work, boom, it appears a message that says, do you want to save your progress, and so on and so on. First of all, that is a good message. So it is there on purpose to let you remember that sometimes it's better to save, because if Revit crashes, it doesn't save any temporary file that you can easily recover. But if that reminder is annoying for you, if you want to, let's say, have it not as frequently like every 30 minutes. Or if you just want to get rid of that message in general, uh, what you can do is in options, you can go to the general area, and here where you see save reminder, this is where you can set the frequency of those messages. By default, this is set as 30 minutes, but you can set it or even more frequently, like you can set it as 15 minutes, or you can make it like 1 hour, 2 hours, or if you click no reminder, boom, this message won't appear anymore and basically it won't bother you again. Same thing, and this is even a little bit more interesting, same thing you should do for the parameter that is called synchronize with central reminder. Because, simply because when you work with Revit, you should be able to save your files into the cloud somewhere, but I mean, this is not really important, while it's just something that bothers us. So even this, if you don't mind, you can click it like no reminders so that they won't pop up messages while you're working with Revit. And this is first. Second interesting thing that we need to know is this parameter. That is, if you have noticed, when you save your Revit files, Revit start saving a lot of additional files, and they are all called like with the name that you were using and a number next to it. So it is like Marco 1, then you save it again and it becomes Marco 2, Marco 3, and so on and so on. You can set the number of additional files that Revit will create simply by changing this number here. So this number says journal cleanup, and basically what is written here is that by default Revit has the number that is 10. So what it means? It means simply that you make your first file, then you start saving, and until you save it for 10 times, Revit will create 10 temporary files. When you start by clicking save for like number 11 or 12 times or 13 times, when you will get your name 11, Revit will delete your file 1. Then you save number 12 and Revit deletes number 2, and so on and so on. But it always keeps 10 temporary files. So what is a lot better to do is to decrease this number to 2, so that instead of having 10 or more temporary files, whenever you save, Revit will keep you only your original file, so the last saved one, and just 2 additional temporary files. And this instead doesn't really matter. It deletes, instead of the number is according to how old files are, but I mean, no, just keep this as 10. But if you change this value to 2, you will start having a lower amount of unusable file in your laptop. And this was first interesting thing that you need to know when you start just customizing Revit in order to be a little more closer to what you have to do. Let's see another interesting thing, that is, by remaining into options, we can click here user interface, simply because in here, uh, in this first menu, we can see that basically we are able to choose which tabs there are in Revit. What it means. Right now, I can read up here that in my Revit, there are a lot of tabs. There is the architecture, there is another tab that is called structure, then there is steel, systems, and so on and so on. There is. Some of them can be simply disabled. And why we may want to do this? Simply because if we don't use certain tabs, our bigger ribbon bar can be a little less confusing. And if we, for example, if we are not using systems, so if we are not interested in creating piping or electrical elements like wires, not design like lamps, but wires, plugs, switches, and so on. What we can do from this menu is that if we don't need them, we can uncheck, for example, structure. For sure, I will leave architecture. But I can uncheck systems, systems, and I will also uncheck energy analysis. When I will click OK, you will see that most of my tools will disappear. So look, click OK, boom. And now I have a lot of less unusable tools that I know that I'm not going to use. So I'm not really wasting anything. I'm not really losing anything. Just that I'm not going to use stuff that I don't need. But before going back to file options, I want to show you another thing that allows you to work in Revit with less problems, less doubts, less, I mean, even unwanted issues. There are these. Look, can you see when you click and you open Revit, you have all these options here, and you have also these shortcuts that allow you to create projects in a specific template. So you can create architectural template projects, structural, mechanical, construction, and so on. You may have noticed that because we want to focus on the interior design part of Revit, and we are not interested in using like mechanical tools, mechanical templates, you can notice that we have never clicked construction or structural or mechanical template when we start a new project. So why keeping them there? Because maybe we can click them by mistake. We are not realizing that we started a project by clicking construction, and then the more we go on into the project, the more issues we will start having, like certain tools won't work, rendering won't work, and so on and so on. So why we have to know this? Simply because, again, if we go to File, we go to Options, and now we go to File Location. In this menu here, you find this list of templates. And if you notice, you can see that they are exactly same choices that we find here. So first is construction, and so on. In this menu, what we have to do is we need to select simply by clicking inside this list. We can select templates that we are not going to use, and once that we click here, we have to click minus, this red minus symbol, and by removing them, when I will click OK, you will discover also that they will disappear. So look, I just click inside structural template and I click minus. I click inside mechanical template and I click minus, so I remove it. When I will click OK, perfect. You will see that those unwanted options are gone. So when I will start my next project, I don't have to worry if by mistake I click one of those templates. Absolutely not. I simply have my wanted choice, that is architectural template. But believe it or not, we will go back in this parameter because using template is what I want to show you today. There is, again, something that I can see in questions or emails that I receive frequently. It's something that can be extremely helpful to be known and to be really mastered. So why you need to know template? See this. If I start a new file now and I make architectural template, what I see is that simply this. If I go to wall and um, I scroll the list of my wall, oops, I'm using the Italian library. Ooh, this is really bad. So, okay, let's see this. First of all, I'm using Italian template and I'm using Italian library. Let me see another thing there is. If I go to, I don't know, roof, and I click roof, I can see that I have just two roof types. I have just one that is 27 centimeters thick and one that is 31 centimeters thick. Okay, so remember what I'm checking. I'm checking the list of objects that I have. Last thing that I want to check is I want to check which units I'm using. So as keyboard shortcut, I will press UN and I can see something that is a little bit weird. That is, I'm using length that is meters, that is written here. Okay? It is set that I'm using no unit symbol. So, what we have seen, we have, and let me highlight this, we have seen which kind of families I have for my objects. So we've seen like wall thicknesses that are in Italian, we've seen roof, we have seen also units. Okay, why this is important? These are things that whenever I click architectural template, they will start always like they are starting right now. And sometimes this is pretty annoying because each time that I start a project in this way, it means that it will start in meters, it will start by having only two roof types, it will start by having only those wall types in Italian, and so on and so on. So what we have to do instead in Revit in order to customize Revit and to work a little bit better with Revit is this. Look. So, first of all, I close this one. I don't need it. No, I don't want to save anything. So, first thing first, I have to go to File. Again, I will go to Options. And I go to File Location. Why this is so important? Simply because it is true that I'm using architectural template, but I need to adjust several parameters in order to be sure that I use a template that I really need. And I can check first thing here, where I see architectural template. Next, I can see that I have the path that shows me which file I'm really using in order to start my project. So if I click not the name, but if I click the path field and I click where I see 3 buttons, I can see that right now I'm starting my file by using Italian default template. Okay? So I can go instead on another folder and I will use maybe US metric. And then I click default US metric so that my file will start in English, but it will still use metric system. And for example, I won't use imperial system. And I click open. When you change from one template to another, this is not the only adjustment that you have to do. And what you have to do then is this. You change your template. There is this second parameter that you have to change, and this is called default path for family templates. So again, you click browse. You can see that I was using Italian templates, and I don't want to, because it would be confusing that I will have something in English, something in Italian. So instead of using the Italian folder, I go up and I will use English. If you notice, again, you may find that you have 2 English folders. One that is just written English, one that is written English I. I means imperial, so I'm not using that. I use just English and I click open. I have almost done. Last thing that I have to do is, believe it or not, I need also to customize this parameter here. Simply because you may have more than one library. So I have the Italian library, I have English library, and so on and so on. So what you have to do is you have to click Places, and you can see that in here, and honestly, don't ask me why, there are all these library selected. And most important is that my metric library, this is the only one that I need to really take care of. This one right now is linked to a path that says Program Data, Autodesk, RVT, Libraries, Italy. What it means is that whenever I want to load, let's say, a window, whenever I want to load a door or stuff like this, by keeping this particular parameter, my Revit will use Italian windows, Italian doors, and so on and so on. So, if I want to change it, I will simply click the path, and I click when it appears this small button with three dots. And instead of using Italy as a library, I go up, I use US metric, and I click open. Perfect. So in this way, again, when I open the software will start working in English with English elements and so on and so on. This is also important for those of you who were not able to install the library even into the same hard drive that contains the software. So if you had a Mac and let's say your library is into an external drive, or if you have a PC and instead of copying the library into the C drive, you have used the D drive and so on and so on, in all those cases, you can still use your different path to use Revit, and you can customize the link that Revit uses to load those paths by using these simple parameters that are inside options. Okay? But let me check if everything is correct now. When I click my architectural template, you will immediately notice that magically my entire Revit project has been now not translated, but it starts in English. So if I click wall, I won't find Italian written walls, but I will find correctly listed English names and so on and so on. Okay? Till here? Give me a sign, because in the meantime I can check the chat, that screen. Perfect. Great. So what to do today as new Revit tool? Today I want to show you how to create staircase. So we will focus mainly on the tool that is called stair. And first of all, let me tell you, you have no idea how bothering for me is that small kind of gray noise that I see next to my head. So then I have to, not today, because today I made this a little bit in a rush, but then next time I have to fix it because it looks too ugly. Anyway, let's see stairs. There are this tool here. First of all, stairs stairs are parametric object, and they work by using certain elements that you can customize, certain elements instead that are created automatically by Revit. First interesting thing is this. When we click stair as a tool, I just zoom in because I was a little bit further, we can see that we have a lot of interesting buttons here, but most important, we need to start focus our attention here and here, because when we start by using stairs in Revit, what we do is we draw not the entire staircase step by step by drawing all different risers and so on and so on. We simply draw the axis that is main direction of our staircase in floor plan. And because we draw a line, and later on I will show you we can also draw curvy staircase, but because we draw a line, what we need to understand is that in reality we need to understand where that line is according to how the staircase works. What it means. Let's see if I can make a quick sketch in here. That is, when we make a stair, basically steps are like these. And when we use stairs in Revit, instead, what we really do is we draw the axis that is our staircase, and we need simply to know that when we draw this line, we have three main choices to use. There are, we can select or that the line that we draw matches left side of the stair. We can instead say that our line is in reality middle axis of the stair, or we can set that the line that we draw is right side of the stair. And why this is important? This is important because a parameter that we can instead easily change is this one, that is the width of the stair. Basically, exactly by following same concept that happens when we make a wall, we need to know that the width of the stair will go according to which axis we are drawing. So if we use here, if we use left, and then we have like 1,000 millimeters of a width, all the width will go like this, and this will be our staircase, and so on and so on. If we instead draw the middle axis, the width will be equally spaced, so it will be 1,000 again, but it will be like 500 millimeters here, 500 millimeters there, and so on and so on. So this is first thing that we need to take care, and this is second thing that we need to check. And now let me show you these tools. So by default, when we draw a staircase, we start by drawing it as a linear staircase. That is, by default, the choice that is called straight ramp. So when we simply click, we start our, I just zoom in, we start our staircase. We can make this linear ramp with whatever angle we want, but we will notice simply that while we draw the staircase, there is a message that appears below the stair. That is, there is a certain number of risers that are created, and you can read these in gray, and there are certain risers remaining. So what it means, this message, is very simple. Let me make another sketch, but it simply means this. The staircase is an object that is not horizontal, and it is angled. And what the staircase does in reality is a structure that connects two levels. So let's say this is what is called my level 2, this is my level 1. So staircase is something that goes like this. If I think in section. So what Revit does is, if you notice, it is really creating the staircase starting from level 1, and it is making the staircase till it goes to up to level 2. So when you see this message written here, what it means is that to go from level 1 to level 2, Revit needs 22 steps. I'm not really counting them. I hope that they are 22. And simply what we draw is we draw them in floor plan, so we see them from the top. And what we are able to do is we can draw them like one continuous row or not. Simply after a certain length, Revit says, look, if you go more than this, in floor plan you are exceeding the number. There are 22 steps, so I won't create any additional step. So let's start by making easier thing. That is, I just make a stair, I make it long as I want, and I just make a second left click. When I've done this, I can also read that if I zoom in, at the beginning of the stair there is number 1, and at the end of the stair there is number 22. So there is also the arrow that is indicating the slope. So I know from where the staircase starts till where the staircase finishes. And once that I have simply made this operation, to finish the construction of the staircase, I need to click this green button that is finish, and boom, this is how the staircase looks like in floor plan. Okay, and something that is, I mean, a dream come true is you can notice that by doing this, the symbol of the staircase is already correct. That is, it shows the letter, the arrow, and also the word up with the arrow in the middle. It shows you that some steps are drawn with continuous lines, and additional steps instead are drawn with dashed lines because they go above a certain height. But what is great now is I want to show you what we have really done by opening also our 3D view. So by clicking up here, okay, ready for this? 3, 2, 1, go! Boom! And I mean, it's not that exciting because it was zoom out, but see this. What we have done just by drawing a line in reality is we have created this three-dimensional staircase. And you may also notice that Revit has automatically placed an additional structure that is the railing, that is this one, and Before showing you a lot more complex things that you can do with stairs, I want to show you what you can actually customize into your stair type. Yes, yes, this is a stairway to heaven. That is correct. You know why? Because there is no landing. So you go up, you go up, you go up, and then boom, and then you fall down, and then yes, you may reach the heaven if you were good. Then, then let me show you these two very simple things that are. First thing that you can do is you can select the staircase only, this one, and once that you select the stairs, we can see that from the properties of the stairs, we can see that right now the type of stairs is something that is called assembled stair. So basically, this is like a wooden staircase that has also wooden railing. But if we want something like more common staircase, instead of using this type here, we can click in the menu and we can use something like a precast or monolithic stair, one of these two. These are basically like, okay, these are more common stair type, no? The one that we see like made in concrete or, yes, generally is just concrete, okay? And this is first simple thing that you can do. And you can basically change stair type and you can explore those additional types. Sometimes, according to the shape that you create, if you make maybe a very complex staircase, sometimes you may notice that not all stair type will be available. So if you make a staircase that is too complicated in terms of floor plan, too complex, and let's say you choose like monolithic stair, maybe it may happen that it won't work. Okay? And another thing that you can customize also is you can customize railings. Now, I will just show you two simple things that you can do with railings. So nothing very complex, but main thing that you can do with railings are these. Step one, you can select the railing only. So don't select both the railing and the staircase. But if I select the railing, I can notice that even the railing has properties. And if I need, why not, I can change the property of my railing. So I can click the railing, I can go to properties, and I can change these preset types that I have. So I can I can use instead of this one that is 1,100 millimeters, I can use the one that is 900. This would be just slightly shorter. Let me tell you, also a little bit more dangerous. Or I can use the one that has pipe. That means instead of having rectangular post and rectangular handrail, it has round post, round handrail, and they are also a little bit less, so you can see this difference. There is also another interesting preset of railing type. That is the one that has glass panels. So you can click the railing, you go to the type, and you use the one that is called the glass panel. Boom! And this is how your railing will look like. Okay? So it is not using a lot of like metal elements. It has just post, handrail, and then it has these big glass panels that are following the shape and the slope of your staircase. Last thing that I want to show you today, because in another lesson I want to show that you can highly customize instead the railing, but in another episode I will show you that. But last thing that I want to show you today is that whenever you create stairs, Revit automatically places the railing. So if you don't need the railing, because I will show you later, because maybe your staircase is attached to a wall, while they are automatically created, you have instead to manually remove them if you don't need them. So if I don't need one or even both railings both sides of my staircase, I can select them and I can press the delete button to remove railings. But every single time that you create a new staircase, boom, they are there always. So you can just customize or delete them, but no matter what, when you make a stair, they will be automatically there. Okay? Till here? Yes? No? Maybe? Let's say yes. Also, if I look like I'm stuck, it is because between when you hear me, and when I really speak, there is a certain latency, there is a delay. So when I look like I'm stuck, it is because I'm watching if you have messages on the chat. I mean, it's not that I am falling asleep, don't worry. Great. So let's see more advanced tools that we can find inside stair. There are these. Look. Step one is when we click stair, and we now have to focus the attention here. Whenever I click stair, I can see that I am drawing a run, and only by default the run is selected as straight run. Why this is important? This is important because when I left click and then I move my mouse, I can see that my stairs are linear. But I can also read here that my staircase has something phenomenal that is called automatic landing. What it means, automatic landing? The automatic landing is something that allows you to make this. Look, if I make a run, but instead of making again one super long run, and instead of making all my 22 needed steps, what I can do instead is I can make like first 10 steps, and it is written, if you see below my staircase, it is written 10 risers created, 12 remaining. So what I can do now is I left click here. Then what I will do is I will simply continue with another ramp, but I won't continue exactly where I've stopped before. Let's say I continue somewhere else, like down here. And you will notice that by making a second run, no matter how I angle the ramp, but Revit will connect the two ramps. Because what Revit need to do is it needs to create one single but continuously made staircase that has 22 steps in order to reach my top floor. So if I make another ramp here, let's say just 2 steps, I can see that Revit has automatically created this L-shaped element that is my automatic landing platform. And you can also notice that I haven't finished all my steps, and I can check that if I keep drawing stairs, you can see again that there are a few steps remaining, but even now you can see that my third run is going to be automatically connected to the second one. Let's say, let's make it complex, like this, and like that, till there are no more needed steps. And you can see that because I'm creating one staircase and I'm using stairs as in a unique operation, you can see that all runs that I have created have been joined together. And if we notice, let me see, we have started with these. Then we have started here. And what is interesting is that Revit has automatically created this element here. There is the landing. Then I have clicked here, and this is what Revit has done for me. That is, it has created this automatic landing. Last but not least, I have made this staircase, and Revit has gently created this. Okay, this is the concept of using the parameter called automatic landing. That is pretty functional, and it works extremely well. So now if I finish my staircase by clicking the green check sign, even if my staircase has this complex kind of shape, if I go to my 3D view, I will see that Revit had no issues in creating it. But as I was saying before, whenever you create a staircase, someone says, my Revit says, fail to generate automatic landing layout. What I'm doing wrong? My dear, everything. So let's see what happens if you make wrong things like this. Look. According to how you draw the staircase, it is not always true that Revit can build the stair. What it means? Look here. Example, or I mean, be so nice. I'm trying to make mistakes on purpose right now, so I will do my best to do my worst. So, error number 1, see this. I make a run from here to there. So I left click to start and stop a run. Then let's see this kind of mistake. That is, if I start my next run here, so if my staircase are intersecting each other, you may receive this error message, that is, fail to generate automatic landing layout. But this is pretty obvious. That is, the reason is because my ramps, they are overlapping each other. So Revit can't create a landing that connects this point to this, and then down here there is a point that go there. So the landing would be something horrible like this. And this is one of the most common problems. So I will Control Z. I will go back. No, not as much. No. So I was doing this. I make these. So first of all, you have to check the distance and the angle of your new ramps. And you can also notice this. If I, instead of, I try to make something correct. So I make my next ramp in here. Again, you can notice that I can angle my second ramp, but when I do this, focus on this line that you see. Let's see if I can highlight it. So focus your attention here, because when I move my angled ramp, if that tiny line that is my landing is not intersecting the run, it will work. But if I do something like this, at a certain point that is now, look, poof, now the landing crosses the run, and again, this will be a problem for Revit that won't be able to create automatically the landing shape. So these are, in general, main mistakes. Another mistake can be if you make a run and then you start your next run immediately stick it to the previous one. In this way, what happens is that for Revit, this and this are two different runs, but you have left zero space in between those runs. So again, there is no space to create a landing. Okay? Is this one of those errors that you were doing? Then give me thumbs up if you were able to do it now, because these are just common mistakes you should avoid. Let's see. Let's see the answer. Mm-hmm. Is there any vital sign? Okay, let's move on for now, and then I will check. Oh, perfect. Let's see more drawing tools for stairs, because we are not again limited in making linear runs. Next to straight runs, there is a tool that is called full step spiral. That basically means that you can make a stair that is not linear, but oh no, don't show the movie. That will ruin the surprise. But you can easily instead make spiral stairs. So just by clicking here, you can start by clicking the center, take care, of your circular stair, and when you move the mouse, you will be able to make, according to how big is the radius, you will see that you will be able to make a staircase. This tool is called full spiral because it's with one click into the center and a second click into the radius, it will let you create the entire staircase from first to last step that is needed to reach your upper level. And you can simply make a very big radius if you don't want the spiral step to have like overlapped turns, or if you make the radius small, but till a certain, let's say if I go like this, basically what happens is that I will make a staircase where that makes basically a 360 degrees turn. So I can make less than 360 if my radius is bigger. So I have just a very wide open spiral stair. I can go lower, and if you see at a certain point, if I go close to my center, you see these two lines that will intersect each other. And what you have to remember is simply that you start from your first step and you can go low. For example, if I make these at a certain point, I can, but it disappears. I can go super close to the center. But if I go close to the center, let's say from one turn, this would be 1 1/4 of the turn. This would be 1 turn and a half. So it would be like 540 degrees of rotation, like this. And again, I just have to left click When I click OK, and I go to my beautiful, that's okay, don't care. I go to my 3D view, and this is what I have made. There is a spiral staircase that makes more than 360 degrees of rotation. We have received a message that says something was wrong, simply probably because the center is so small that the railing is a little bit too deformed, but we don't really care. We can even delete everything. I want to delete railings, just a railing. And this, what remains here, this is not the railing, this is the pole that is inside. And we may need instead, just to change, let's see if I make a monolithic stair. And this is what we have at the end. Okay. How many questions? What have I to do? I want a landing with both stairs going to the second floor. I want a landing. Wait a second. Let me see. Let's see if we can talk with images. So let me check if this is what you want. There is nah. Oh, it's so annoying when you don't find things easily. Let's see. Something like this. So something that has one stair, then a landing, then two stairs going up. Is this the question? I think I removed by accident. One question at a time. Let's fix one. Okay. And this is something that I will show you. And this is not that hard, but basically you have to do two stairs. But I will show you how. Give me just 1 second. Then instead someone says, I think I removed by accident the option where railings are automatically added. Huh. And what should I do? So let's see. See, check this. When you let's solve first problem and then go to the double stair. For if you make a staircase and you see that I don't know how you are not creating any automatic railing, what you have to do is this. You click stairs, then before, after, but what is important is before clicking OK, what you have to check is this. Before clicking OK, you must check railing, and railing must be default, or you can choose one of those presets that we've seen before. If you are not viewing any railing, there can be just two problems. Or the shape of the staircase is so messed up that it doesn't work, or by mistake you have clicked none here, because if not, by default it creates it. Okay? I got it. When I do monolithic stair, okay, it's back. Great. Oh, sorry. NVM. So NVM, I think. No, don't, sorry. Just a little digression, because not because I'm online I can do digressions as I usually do in class, but NVM. And no, don't tell me that means never mind. Is it true? It means never mind. Let me know. Because, I mean, it's fantastic. Never chatted with anyone in my life. So excited. Anyway, this was problem number one. This was very simple to fix. NVM, fantastic. Then let's see the question that instead is how to make a very complex looking stair that is the one that has two runs, basically. So what we have is we have that our classmate in floor plan needs to have this, basically. Let's say this staircase, then maybe there is a landing, and attached to this landing there is one ramp, but there is also another ramp. So if we draw these, basically this would be our first step. Then staircase will go like this and like that. Lovely. Okay, this is something that you can do in Revit. There is a workaround in here that is, it is not something that you can do immediately with these simple tools, because when we draw straight ramps, when we draw spiral ramps, when we draw center arced ramps, because we can also, look, we can also do just something like making a ramp that is circular, but we are also able not to make it till the end, and we can combine multiple runs. So we can do something like this. But by default, when we use the method of creating a staircase by run, what Revit does is it allows us to create stairs that has only one continuous axis that describes how the staircase is done. So it can be just one run, one landing, one additional run, and so on and so on. What we can do instead is this. If you notice, when we draw a staircase, there are these 4 tools here that are looking very similar. This is straight, there are 5, no 4. This is straight, this is full spiral, this is not full spiral. Then we have also these and these that no one uses. There are like L-shaped or U-shaped stairs, but not like they are really made, but with triangular steps in the corners, so they are pretty uncommon. But what is interesting is that we have also this particularly interesting tool that looks like a pencil. And why this is important? This is important because what we can do is we can draw stairs by sketch. What it means by sketch? By sketch means that we can really draw the stair as we want by having the possibility to customize the width, customize the step. We can really just freely draw a staircase. But this has a few fixed rules to follow that I will show you in a second. There are. When we click stairs and we click stairs by sketch, we have a completely different menu appearing. And instead of having runs like before, we have these, where are here? These 3 selections: boundary, risers, stair path. And in order to make a staircase by sketch, we really need to draw them all, and each of these 3 elements called boundary, risers, and step follows precise rules. And what I want to do is, to make your life easier, I want to take a picture of an existing staircase. Let's say. So, images, perfect. Let's see something from the top. Perfect. Don't like any of these. Not that perfect. Floor plan. No. I've seen something better. But I've lost it. This picture. Beautiful. So, look at this picture. If we can open them. this one, no, this one. Perfect. And then I zoom in. Okay. What we can see is that, we will be able to create something similar like these, like that, like those. But look at these staircase here that have a completely weird rounded shape. So why this is important? This is important because in Revit we can even draw this kind of stairs. We must do this by using stairs by sketch. And into sketch, there are three elements. There are these elements that are boundaries. Boundaries basically mean left and right side of the staircase. So boundary of these will be these and that. Boundary of these will be this and that. Boundaries have one fixed rule, that is, they must be open shapes so that they define from where to where the staircase starts and stops. They can be parallel or not, that doesn't matter at all, but the most important things are they must be two continuous open shape and they have not to cross or touch each other. If you make boundaries like these, the staircase won't work. Then we have to create risers. Risers are basically the shape in floor plan of your steps. Again, risers can be whatever you want, can be line, can be curves. This is completely free. Risers have one property only, that is, risers must touch or cross both boundaries. So, if you make boundaries and you make a riser that will be like this, so it is crossing here, not touching there, this won't be calculated as a step. Last but not least, into the stair by sketch, you need to draw manually the axis of your staircase, and that's it. So look what we can do with a stair by sketch. Yes, close. Look, first of all, I will draw boundaries, and I can draw them as I want. So, to make something that is just less random that you may expect, look, I will draw this boundary. Let me see if I can quickly use a bit of math to do it. So I want this to be 2100. Perfect. And then I will do this one, 2100. Just because I'm using millimeters. Then I will do something phenomenal, that is, I will make an offset, and you will see, this will shock you. You will see, I will make offset, but I will make 500 millimeters here, and I click, and then I make 8,000 millimeters. No, sorry, not 500. So I make offset. There are 450, yes, and 900, because I want my staircase to be multiple of that value. But can you see that my boundaries are not parallel, or I mean they are not two open shapes, and also you can see that they are touching. So I use trim and I trim these two lines. In this way I have this, there is one of my boundary, and this, there is my second boundary. I've just made two lines. You will see at the end of this masterpiece, you will see at the end why I have selected that this is 450 while this is 900. Just follow me. So we have designed two boundaries. Now we need to click risers, and we need to draw basically in floor plan each single step. Steps must be lines that must follow one single rule, that is, or they touch boundaries or they cross boundary. In both cases, they will be considered steps. And you can also see that Revit started counting that I was able to create two risers. But you can see that if I make a line like this, it says 3 risers, but unfortunately when we will click OK, we will get an error message. So just avoid things like that. What I want to do is, I just want to be a little bit more precise. So instead of drawing all my steps, again, I use offset. I use 300. And I will start by making offsets of this line. Then I draw this one. Sorry, there is a riser. And I will make offset of this as well. No, they are too short. So let me stretch these. Perfect. We have almost done. What we have to do next is very simple. There are 3 elements here. There is boundary, riser, stair path. So I will draw my stair path, but here there is something extremely important to remember. That is, stair path must be a shape that starts exactly from first step that you have in your staircase. So if I want this to be my lower step, I will click stair path. I will click here, and then there. So I draw the axis, but I start from which is my lower step. Okay? So, before clicking OK, look what we have drawn. And I will also use same colors. We have drawn this boundary. We have drawn this boundary. Then we have drawn these risers. Even if they are not all 22 needed, doesn't matter. And at the end, starting from here, because I want this to be my riser number 1, only here we have created this stair path. Okay, these are steps that we have followed. Boundaries, risers, path. Okay, ready for this? Look, when I will click OK, I will discover that I click OK twice. Doesn't matter. I have discovered that I have created this weird looking stair that is something that has a different, simply not a continuous width. This kind of staircase would be impossible to be made just with runs, because if I use runs, the run has a parametric width that is continuous from the beginning till the end. But I've simply made this stair because if I delete the railing that is here, okay, and I go to my level 1, if I use a simple tool like, what is here, mirror, that is this one, by mirroring this, I will start having that kind of staircase that has 1 starting ramp and 2 ramps going on the side. Okay, probably we should change the type into a monolithic or precast. Let's see. We have to tweak a little bit. I don't know. Not that sure if it works. Precast. Yes. Precast this and precast that. Okay. Oops. There is a gap. So I will just move this. Let me move it in floor plan. I will just move this here. Boom! And when I go to my 3D, I have this phenomenal looking stair. Cool, isn't it? I know, it's too cool to be true. Okay, and this is in general, you can make a lot of complex things with stairs by sketch. I will show you one last realistic example so that then I will also explain that this is what you have to do as a homework. So what you have to do is simply this. I will create another staircase by sketch, but I want to ask you if you have ever seen these kind of stairs. They are called, don't ask me how they are called because I have no idea, in English specifically. But when you have a small apartment, sometimes to save a lot of space, it is pretty common to have steps that will force you to use right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. In this way, by going up to the same level, stairs can be a lot more vertical, but they, they will work like a irregular staircase. And you can do this kind of staircase in Revit just by using stairs with sketch. So you draw your boundaries and let's make it really crazy because boundaries can be whatever, just not touching. So I can make also this kind of boundary. I mean, I don't have to keep everything linear or parallel. I don't know. Just let's make it super weird. I can do this curvy as well. And then I will draw my risers. And what is important is that risers are like these. So they are lines that are touching boundaries or crossing boundary. But the only important thing is that they are continuous. So, oops, no, riser. Okay. Riser. Then I make another one. I'm still making risers. So you can even make steps that are not even linear, just by creating continuous shapes that are, again, or crossing or touching your boundaries. They can be line, they can be arcs, like these. You can go as crazy as you want just by following. Let's make something pretty weird at the end. Exactly. Then I make a stair path. Again, I start from what is my first step and I go till my last one. But then when you click OK, probably the railing will give me some error message. Yes, it's okay. But look at that. What a masterpiece of a staircase we have created. Okay? Let me also delete the railing just to appreciate a bit better the awesomeness of this staircase. Okay? So, this is last thing that I want to show you today also because this would be the simple homework that I want to give you for next week because last week I gave you as a homework that you have to add a second floor on top of your previous homework. What you have to do now is by being completely free to choose where, how, which shape you want to create as as a stair. Another stair, yes, this would be for sure a stairway to heaven because people will easily die by going up and down from this stair. So I was saying, your homework is to add a staircase in your file, and you will notice, but I won't give you any hint. I want to check your files first. You have also to cut the floor where you put the staircases, because in this way people can go from one level to another. So adding staircase will be your homework to the previous project. Next week I will give you instead something completely new to be started from scratch. Last but not least, when I will finish this stream, I will also leave into the description, into details of this stream. There is not room N, made a mistake, is room F. But I will leave you also the title of this video. I will leave you the video for 24 hours, maybe more, because I'm lazy. And I will also leave you the link where you can upload your homeworks. That link will remain for all of your homeworks. So if you want to bookmark that folder, do it so that you don't have each time to look for where that folder is gone. I mean, you can immediately find it and using it. Okay? I will wait 1 minute to see if there are any questions. If not, bye. Thank you, Cosima. Have a nice weekend too. I'll try. Any other question? Thank you. You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Perfect. So, no more questions. And let me. Yes, yes, he says he don't mind the file you send me. In one way or another I will open. Yes, for sure. It is not Revit 2002. I could imagine it is 2020. No problems at all. Okay? Bye everyone. Let me close the streaming, and that is here. Bye.